Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here today for another video to go in my natural remedies for specific ailments series, and this one's going to be on helping with hypertension or high blood pressure. Now before I continue, it's really important that you understand that blood pressure is a necessary, whether it's high or low or mid-range, it's a necessary function in the body to help your body to adapt to different types of stress, whether it be external stress that's causing emotional or mental stress, or something that's going on within the body, some kind of dis-ease that's causing your blood pressure to go up in order to regulate itself, or it can be caused by certain toxins, including medications, and that, yes, includes pharmaceuticals that are made to treat hypertension. Those should be the last things you turn to, if at all. In fact, I'd recommend never doing it, but that's my personal thought. Just remember, I'm not a doctor, but I've learned enough about this over the years that I don't think anybody should be. There's several different medications I don't think anybody should ever be on, and if so, it's going to be very rare. But of course, that's got to be between you and your doctor, since I am not a doctor myself. But I do recommend that you go watch, after this, watch the video I'll be linking to down below about high blood pressure and should we be medicating it. It's very important that you go listen to what I have to say there. Now remember, again, I'm just a person who's been studying this on her own. I don't have any degrees, no certificates, not a doctor, not a licensed naturopath, nothing like that. But I've been studying these issues for many years. So anyway, what I have here is a list of foods and herbs that can help you regulate your blood pressure, especially if you're during that time where it's chronically high, but you can't figure out what's going on. Sometimes it is important to find some other means to just help bring that down while you look for the root cause, because there's always a root cause for your blood pressure to go up and stay up chronically. It's not a disease, it's the body's natural way of adapting to some sort of stress. So you have to understand that. What I have here in this list, which I'll be typing up and then also putting a link to that so you can copy and paste it, is a list of different foods and herbs that you can add to your diet. Remember, this is about tailoring it to suit you. Not everything in here is going to be suitable for everyone, depending on who they are, any allergies they have, or if they're on any medications at all. So this is just to give you a jumping off point. Also understand that these different herbs, supplements, and foods work in different ways. Some of them actually help to lower the blood pressure, where other ones are going to help calm the mind and the body, so that will more naturally bring the blood pressure down rather than forcing it down. So I'm going to go ahead and read this list off, and we're going to start off right off the bat with the cocoa, or cacao in its raw form is what it's called. So that means chocolate in its healthy form is really good for you. And I have a video just on the health benefits of chocolate. And yes, by the way, if I sound a little funny, I'm getting over the first cold that I've had in about 10 years. And it just so happens on the day I'm shooting the videos is the day that I sound the worst. So moving on, cat's claw. Garlic. Now here's one I'd never heard of before called buchu. This one is specifically for actually lowering the blood pressure. Prickly custard apple, another new one to me. And I'm not even going to list off everything because the list is actually pretty long. Celery, guan mutong, I think is pronounced. Breadfruit. Now remember that list, if you want to see the spelling, that list will be linked down below. Blonde psyllium, or Indian plantain, is another name for it. So I would think any psyllium, because I know that psyllium from regular plantain is also good for helping to regulate your blood pressure. But this does specifically say blonde psyllium. Now, most of these foods I found on a list on the NIH that I'll also be linking to down below, because that's going to be more scientific, and it talks about the data and the studies that were done on some of these different foods and herbs in regards to hypertension. Okay, then you have Camellia sinensis. Now, if you don't know what this is the plant that is used to make all forms of true tea. It doesn't matter if it's white tea, green tea, oolong tea, or black tea. All of those teas come from the same plant. It's all about how the leaves, when they're picked and how they're processed, that you get the different types of teas. And I would assume that the Camellia japonica would also apply, because you can make tea out of that too. And I've done it before. I've made a black tea out of it. So black beans, Chinese hawthorn, carrots, lavender, obviously because of its calming properties, flaxseed, black mangrove, tomatoes, moringa, another one you find in quite a few of these lists, basil, kudzu, so those people that live in the places where the kudzu is just taking over everything, here's another great use for it right there, besides being able to use it as a cornstarch replacement. Cinnamon, of course, another one that's in so many of these lists, and we're talking Ceylon cinnamon here. Though cassia cinnamon is good, if you like cinnamon and you use a lot, go with the Ceylon cinnamon and always look for organic. Pomegranate, radishes, sesame, so this can be the sesame seeds, the sesame oil. I love adding a little bit of sesame oil to any of my Asian type dishes that I make. Just adds a lovely flavor. Bran, thyme, ginger, there's that one again. Green oats. Oats in general really are great for helping to deal with high blood pressure, but specifically green oats. Now this was a new one to me, never heard of it before, and I thought it was rather interesting. So, but just know if you can't get the green oats, then just regular oats are good. Again, always try to, when it comes to this kind of stuff, always try your best to find organic, the most naturally grown stuff you can. Parsley, hibiscus, now this would be something that'd be good in a tea, or horsetail tea. Horsetail is also very good for the hair, by the way, and it grows wild around our parts. And then a couple more that are really good for calming are valerian and catnip. And these are the ones, especially this past summer, 2021, I was under so much stress, like a lot of stress. I was constantly having chest pains, and not heart attack kind of chest pains, just chest pains from the constant stress. Some of it was just a lot. There was just so many things on my plate, which there still are, but you know, preparing for my youngest son's wedding and family coming and all that was just, it just really had me in a high state of stress. And so I would make myself a cup of catnip and mojito mint tea, and that did so much. The mojito mint added a real nice flavor, and that just was very calming and helped a lot. I slept better, and then valerian is also really good for that. So I have another playlist I'm going to be linking to down below is the one I have on herbs in general. In there I have a breakdown on catnip and its many benefits, as well as valerian, and so you might want to look into those. But also in the other playlist I'll be putting down below about that, this one will go in, I have one in there about dealing with stress, generally speaking, and I also mentioned the tea in that and how well it works for me. So obviously the other things that you have to consider, you know, besides really trying to assess what's causing your stress to go up so you can deal with that issue, making sure you're getting plenty of fresh air and sunlight, good, healthy, clean drinking water. I always look at getting as many different herbal teas as possible, so that way I'm not overdoing it on the just plain water, but you're also getting some good nutrients in that tea. And because too much water, you can flush out all the good nutrients. Water is good, we need it, and drinking plenty a day is very important, but if you're flushing out all your nutrients, it can be detrimental to your health. And it's been known, it's rare that it happens, but there have been people that have died from drinking too much water. So that's why I always recommend herbal teas, because now you're getting lots of good liquids, plus you're getting some of the medicinal benefits and the nutrients that you're going to find in the different herbs and spices that you like to use to make your teas. So a lot of these things can be used in the teas. Like one of my favorite teas involves using spices like ginger and cinnamon together with cloves and more. And even though getting a good healthy diet all the way around is the best way to get your supplements, if you feel like you need that little extra, which sometimes we do, just like around where we live, we don't get enough sunlight, especially in the wintertime, that we do supplement with vitamin D. So another thing would be calcium, but calcium should never be taken on its own. It should be taken in a form specifically combined with magnesium, or even magnesium and potassium. So and there's different foods that can have all three of these all in the same thing. Like even just powdering up some good healthy eggshells that you've just washed and making a powder out of them, either putting them in a capsule form or mixing them with water and drinking them down, is a good way and cheap way to get all three of those minerals into your diet. And then if you don't like to eat fish very much, which I do, we just don't eat enough of it. We have a bunch in the freezer. I just need to make it more often. But a good fish oil is also important at helping to regulate the blood pressure. So if you don't get enough fish in your diet, consider taking a good healthy fish oil supplement. And of course, plenty of exercise. Get yourself moving. This is very important. This is going to do a lot to help your body to heal itself and to overcome whatever is going on in there that is causing the blood pressure to go up and stay in a chronic state. That's what we're trying to get away from, not trying to stop the body's natural function. This is important to understand the difference. Just like fevers are important, we need them. We need to let them run their course, but obviously if they get too high, they can cause some damage. It is rare, but it can happen. And at that point, then we can look at bringing the fever down a little bit. Same thing goes with swelling. You need swelling when you injure yourself, but too much swelling can also have a detrimental effect. So it's about finding that balance. Most of the time, it's very rare I ever try to regulate the body's natural function to whatever is going on because of that. But if I know I'm really stressed out and I need to bring my stress levels down, then yes, I'll do what it takes to help me calm my nerves. Okay, well, I hope you found this video helpful, and don't forget to click on Show More right down here below my channel name to find the different playlists I'll be putting down in there and other individual videos, as well as the written list for these items here. And if I come across any more, I'll be putting those in the list, plus that NIH publication that I highly recommend you look into because it lists even more natural foods and herbs in there. I just didn't want to cover them all, this would have been too long, but it also because there's a lot of great information in that article. And then, oh, by the way, if you're on a smart device, it's going to be a little gray arrow right over here. And by the way, that's also if you're on a smart device where you'll find the date that the video was published. So you'll find the description box, you click on that, and you'll also find the date. So if you're curious as to why does this seem outdated, always check that date. If you're on a smart device, that's how you do it. And then if you have any other ideas, if you've had to deal with high blood pressure, what are some natural ways and things that you've done that have helped you to deal with it? And were you able to find out what the root cause was, and share that with us if you're willing, and how you dealt with that as well, because every little bit we can all interject is going to help other people. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.